and welcome to the AEW Dynamite preview. We are the Dudley Boys of What Culture. I'm Adam Wilbourn, joined by Michael Hamflett and Michael Sidgwick, here to look ahead to tonight's episode of AEW Dynamite. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube. We do daily wrestling podcasts where we not only review AEW Dynamite, but also AEW Collision, Raw, SmackDown, the show formerly known as NXT 2.0. Pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a round of the week complete with a very good quiz, of course, on WrestleCulture. As I said, though, joined by Hamflett and Sidgwick to preview AEW Dynamite. But better get this done quick so we don't miss our flight, eh? Sidge, it's spring breakthrough, definitely tonight.
Yeah, we are recording this on Tuesday. With the idea being like...
He was hiding it. He was speaking in code.
I just thought, I want to talk AEW one more time because unfortunately, for about, a week or whatever, I will not be on the podcast channel because I'm not flying to Las Vegas. I am instead celebrating my youngest's birthday, which falls on night one of WrestleMania. Levesque. I've got so many reasons to not like you already. The interminable WrestleMania matches, the bad things about you that you have to talk around, the interminable matches at pretty much every other pay-per-view apart from 8. Like that awful, musky and excruciating sense of humor where no one really thinks you're funny, but you've amassed lots of power, so everyone has to laugh at you. Or with you, rather, anyway. And now, you start delaying Mania when I could have gone on a trip with the boys. So I don't like flying, and I know for a fact if I was about to travel, I would be very scared.
Well, I like 40 planes, aren't we? It's a wacky old route.
Yeah, so I would love it when I'm there, but I would be really bricking it right now. So, I'm not. So that's good.
And you've been a very good dad, to be fair.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Good dadly. Trip dadlies. That's the difference. You're being a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, I like to be reminded of it. But, if you follow me on X at @msidgwick, I'll probably go into more detail than I usually do on X/Twitter, with the idea being that I like to get my thoughts out there and I don't have the podcast to do it. But these guys will be covering Dynamite. Don't be too about it, please.
Wouldn't dream of it. Be too happy. Going to try and watch it in a bar. Hopefully, anyway, by the time we land today, it'll have potentially aired in the East Coast. But yes, West Coast is the best coast. You got that little bit of a delay ski, so I have to avoid the spoilers. Ooh, Ghost Wrestling is already out there on the internet. I can't wait.
Looks like a great goddamn show.
They're going big, aren't they, for this?
Yeah, as they should.
They are.
As they should.
2 reasons, obviously, why they're going big. Number 1, it is, we lasted longer than Nitro. Go yourself. 2 is there's 2 matches that could genuinely be the 2 best matches of the week. And I'm not just saying that. And I think in part Tony Khan wants that conversation to happen of like, what was the best match at WrestleMania? Well, it wasn't even the best match of this week. That was Ospreay Takeshita. So we know what we're doing here, and I'm all for it. Bit of pettiness. He's laid off the whole Bischoff thing like for a while. He doesn't have this big running feud with him like Meltzer does on X constantly. You almost always lets Bischoff rant into the void. And to be fair, at this point, I think is number 1 grifter. If there's a league table, like it's like the championship. It's like the EFL championship of soccer, in terms of the fluctuation, in terms of who gets.
Only takes 3 wins and then.
Yeah. So Bischoff had it down with that story thing, and now it's got to the point where people who can't even define the word or know it if it slaps them in the face, nothing WWE does with its monologues, took that, and now it's just the defining narrative of AEW and its stories. So his legacy on the grifting game can never, ever be, overstated, denied. He's done a great job in that field.
11th place on UK Pod Watch. 83 weeks with Eric Bischoff.
11th.
Bully Ray's gone back to the fundamentals of...
eighth for them. Busted open.
Good for them.
With the old, 5-star matches and characters and stories, bro.
Heat.
So Bully Ray kind of overtaken Bischoff, but Bully Ray never did anything in his life, much less beat WWF for 83 weeks. So you can't really do a celebration of nothing. You know what I mean? So he didn't defeated nothing week 1. So
do you know who the hell I am, Sidgy?
Rumor has it that he had the book for a short amount of time for Ring of Honor. And look how that went. So maybe he did have something to do.
Impact Zone tickets were free, but the queues were large.
Allegedly. So, Vince Russo can't get a bike, can he?
No.
Sad end.
Is he just?
No, he does it, but no one listens.
Well,
no one knows.
say,
what's
he
the name
never
of his
gets
pod?
discoursed. He does it, as far as I'm aware. He does it, but he never gets discoursed. Never gets discoursed.
Oh, 61, sorry.
This is said
He
without
never gets
said
discoursed.
without judgment. This, like, Vince Russo just wants to get on a podcast and talk about wrestling, and it's not getting picked up for discourse.
No, he hates all of it.
Fine.
No, he hates all of it.
He hates all of it.
He hates all of it, obviously. He cannot sanction the idea of Fed doing third boom stuff because his calling card was always, I had the last boom. I was the one who made it mainstream and popular. So I think his gimmick is hates the Fed, hates AEW, hates everything. Whereas Bischoff will say...
Grizzled Russo.
Aye. Bischoff will say that Ricky Saints' NXT debut was better than Scott Hall's in WCW because that makes AEW look bad like Tony fumbled. So so that is why Spring Breakthru is happening, really. And I just like how it's just the ultimate coldest revenge. Like Tony Khan really isn't that poster in him is gone. I think he saw sense and it was getting a little bit tiresome. Most acts in wrestling do. Poster Tony got a little bit tiring. So now I just like how he's just had this little plan where I was like, I'm not going to treat myself. I'm going to give myself one big treat. It's like he's gorging. He's gorging on discourse. It's his cheat day, really. Spring Breakthru is his cheat day. It's an unbelievable accomplishment. I know it's a sort of...
I like that he's tough. Wrestling's a very fluid industry in a lot of respects, and there's that thing, when people say things like, this is going to be one for the history books and that. All that stuff's made up and nebulous and whatever. So sometimes... you have to make your own prizes or your own little finish lines or whatever. This is an amazing one.
It's an amazing one.
It's an absolutely amazing one. Like a WCW, well, and to be specific in Nitro, but let's...
Prime time.
Yeah,
prime time.
Prime time number 2. And I don't say that as a negative either. Like a second mainstream. WCW was going to be it. We were never getting another one again.
Yeah,
Ever. It's massive that they've done it because they're not just passing it by a week. It's not like finishing a long run and getting over the line and going, and then collapsing to the ground. I'm going to turn back and go bloody other way now. Like another 5 years and another, and they will. That will happen. So it's more here's a thing we've passed, not, we lasted one more week.
Yeah. It'd be like doing a wrestling podcast with two of your best mates and hitting around WrestleMania weekend, hitting 65 million listens.
That'd be pretty good, wouldn't it?
That'd be pretty cool. I mean, I couldn't imagine what that might be like, but that'd be pretty cool.
Do you want to take a stab at the top 10? Unfortunately, Eric Bischoff just misses out on Sidge. You said Busted Open, so you got one.
Cornette will be on there.
Cornette's on there twice, yeah.
So that boxing one?
That boxing one is on there.
It shouldn't be.
Any more? Any more, Frank? I'll run you down the 10 to 1.
It's not like Guardian Football Weekly sneaks in, does it? So take the boxing one away.
Yeah. Not that it bothers us, obviously.
Well, there's some... I mean, if we're talking about the UK's #1 wrestling podcast,
yeah.
Probably on just stickers on that tell you that, so they'll be spoiling it.
No.
Right.
So, by the way, just a quick note here that the Raw recap has fallen to 23rd. So, you can try and take our name. You can't take our spot in the charts.
Sam Roberts.
Like the SmackDown synopsis. How about that? Not that bothered by it. In at 10.
Raw recap.
Raw recap and SmackDown synopsis. It's alliteration, but it's only 2, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Restarted it.
The work of good podcasters. That's what we've always said.
So Eric Bischoff's 11th. This is again according to UK Pod Watch. Shout out to the guys who run this. Thank you for their hard work. 10, Talk is Jericho. 9, the guys over at Courtaholic. 8, Busted Open. 7, Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard. 6, the Jim Cornette Experience. 5, the Fight Night Boxing Podcast. What the hell are you doing here? 4, it's the Dead Man.
Nah, he's keeping up there.
3,
he was #1 for a long time, but he's probably taken some time off to tighten up his gear ahead of one dead man show over WrestleMania weekend. Probably got a new tight 5.
You know when you get like really nice and tanned, what do people say? Like, oh, you look really like
glowing.
yeah. There's like the colour you go
Bronzed.
Yeah, that's probably the best thing to be, right? That, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, ironically, third place is WhatCulture Wrestling.
With the 3s.
2 is Jim Cornette's Drive-Thru, and number 1, Chris Van Vliet. Fair enough.
Guys,
Got some big names of late.
Yeah, he's
The
getting
best
big names.
UK podcast is still us, which is why MJF says this.
One of the only professional wrestling podcasts that's actually worth a
I don't know how this happened, but I like it.
AEW can have a flex, we can have a flex.
Yeah.
But yes, a stacked show to look forward to. When do you want to talk Forbidden Door quickly, by the way? Because that's broken today. I feel like it's worth mentioning. Do you want to do that and then run through this card? Or
Yes,
do you
but
wanna...
first,
what?
before I forget, nothing. Might type that up. First, I want to say that Super No Vacancy Dynamite tonight. I think that's 3. It's set up for 3,000, but there's only 100 tickets left. In a very sort of theatre-looking venue in a traditionally loud and raucous pro wrestling market in Boston. So they're going to be a wicked pisser.
You said it.
Wicked pisser. And I was saying on the Collision review
Collision was really good this week.
that if they're going to troll Bischoff with various things, I'm going to be saying troll him harder. That's what I want. There will be, I'm hoping tonight for only an AEW just a little Easter egg of Nitro, maybe a couple, just to, put the boots in a little bit, right? But what I'm getting at is lovely theatre looking venue and setup, like, packed to the goddamn gills of that building.
Love the layout of this place.
Are we getting a hard camera pointing at the stage night?
Well, I reckon a sideways view of the ring and like a little bit of the front rows, and then lots of like gratuitous shots of like people just pressed against the wall. Loud, intimate. Boston's always brought the noise.
That's right.
So vibe should be immaculate.
The MGM Music Balls at Fenway, Boston.
Of course, yeah.
Indeed, yeah.
Have you seen that? Look at the layout. That looks great. That does. Really
Keep
exciting.
finding these cool venues.
Yeah.
Give us 6 weeks, NXT will run it. So that's something else to look forward to.
You heard it here first.
But yes, before we get to tonight's card, it's worth talking about Forbidden Door because it was
Not
announced.
going either. So if that happens, I'm not there. I'm in Crete.
God damn, CG, man.
So you got to do what me and Hamflett do, and that's check the wrestling calendar before we book anything.
It's a wonderful
Can't do
time.
that. We could be in Texas for All In then, so I can't do anything then.
Can't do that.
No,
Can't do that.
but,
Can't
you
do
know,
that.
just
Why
in
not?
case.
Why not?
Unless
Roomies on the tour. It was a great time. I was looking forward to a bit of a Forbidden tour.
we've all been roomies together, haven't we? On
Yeah.
separate occasions.
And there's some unfinished business in London because our tour date got moved and Forbidden Doors in London, and who knows? That might be a thing. Who knows?
Yes. So Forbidden Door confirmed for the O2 in London on the 24th of August. Prior to that, they are doing a Dynamite and Collision taping at the Hydro in Glasgow on the Wednesday before and Thursday before, August 20th and 21st.
Yeah, the well-known move from stadium to arena, overdue. The idea being that if they can get, will get like what in excess of 18,000 or whatever it holds, like
Big room. Good big room. O2.
room, feels massive. It'll be one of the best gates of the year, obviously, if not their second best. I mean, they'll be doing well if it's their third or fourth. I welcome the move. I think they realized last year the pull of New Japan isn't what it was. I mean, imagine doing Forbidden Door in 2019. Imagine when Tana could still go. Naito wasn't thrashed. Okada was like not, phoning it in. Hilariously, but phoning it in. Like, it would have been special. But then at the same time, there's never been a good time to do it, really, because Darby hadn't been perfectly established. MGF hadn't risen to main event tier. Like, a lot of the wrestlers had already been in it. Mox, Jericho, Elite. So maybe there's never been a good time.
It was. It's 2020 and 2021, but unfortunately, that was impossible.
Yeah, because I had a lot of stars in AEW who were on the come up. Darby and MGF were really getting there. But then the relationship hadn't been established.
Yeah, good point.
So Forbidden Door. They proved last year by, I think it was a necessary step, right? We can have an all AEW main event. It's fine. We can't do interpromotional every year. The politics involved are way more complex than they need to be. And look, it's just the star power isn't there. Now that Okada's made the jump, what else you got? Evil, not friggin' Evil, for Christ's sake. Goto.
Yes.
Goto.
What else you got? Evil? I just slammed the door in the face.
Goto is getting raves for his like really pure, authentic babyface work. The fact that he'd still go at this level after like he's outlasted in terms of physicality, if nothing else, like Tanahashi, and they came up as main event stars at the same time.
You only have 2 next stuff matches per G1 instead of 5.
Yeah.
And that's really helped him out now. That's
Absolutely, but at the same time, like New Japan, I mean, a lot of the fans who had that tentative interest in New Japan and sort of dropped in and out of the big shows, they've all went, oh, well, AEW's our new home, you know? So I don't know really if Goto's wonderful emotive story has that much currency with fans of AEW. What actually does? Gabe Kidd through the Kenny thing at Wrestle Kingdom. There are options, but not many. So, yeah, I mean, look, it'll be great on the night, but it's going to be hard to really juice up any acts. Like Tsuji getting a singles match could be something, but I can't pretend that this relationship's ever developed into what it could have been.
The location helps it in that regard, because I think what the UK showed for AEW in 2023 and 2024 is that, like, and the audience were like in front of AEW this. They wanted desperately to make this that kind of festival of wrestling, WrestleMania weekend here. And in 2023 especially.
That desperate, they would have bloody shifted some merch over.
No, the fans wanted it.
The far right.
Audiences wanted it. You know, they wanted like, you know, there was like other sort of a couple of other wrestling shows that were taking place in London, and there was a sense of like, get down for the weekend, there's going to be gatherings. You know, in 2024 it improved a little bit more. Like both years there's been a Copper Box show the night before, which is very similar to like one of the big indies running WrestleMania weekend. We did our live show, and I know we weren't the only ones. Like Grapple had one on that weekend. It was a lot more of a gathering in 2024, and it was almost like AEW were playing catch up a little bit with that. I think you get that a bit here, because I think some of the New Japan like wrestlers might work, say Rev Pro, for example, where there's a working relationship. You might get little overlaps. The fact that there's a Dynamite and a Collision in Glasgow means that the stuff that people either might go to both or can feed into it, and it's gonna feel. And we say this, by the way, in the weird, like brilliant in some regards. Let's not lie about how it's happened, but like this counter programming from WWE thing of like the country being full of the 2 North American mainstream promotions in Britain in the same. That is mental that's going to, but from our point of view, in our perspective, like there is going to be absolutely loads of wrestling conversation, wrestling buzz. I don't know anything about local sales and things, but like those Cardiff tickets were expensive last year. AEW, man, put the tickets out for cheap. Fill your buildings.
Yeah.
You know, fill your...
I might have misspoke, by the way. I think Collision might be the same night as Dynamite.
Make post-rights
family
fee.
ticket. The family ticket can be AEW. Get the kids along to that.
Post-renewed deal, I think that is more of a thing.
Hope so. Like, it just... There's such an opportunity for, like, wrestling fans to potentially be asked to choose, right, you're going to go down the AEW route or you're going to go down the WWE route. WWE will be in your town, but AEW will be bigger. So you pick between the two. If AEW can undercut WWE financially at the gate, and then
they absolutely should.
And then just create this sense of momentum for that week, it could feel massive. Like the card...
We won't have any repercussions on domestic business.
No, but the card can almost be like of a secondary concern.
11 days of wrestling across that time period.
That is... like unheard of over here, obviously.
Dynamite
like,
on the 20th, Smackers Dublin on the 22nd of Friday, live shows across the weekend from WWE, whilst obviously we have Forbidden Door.
Forbidden Door.
They'll need a main event. They'll need a main event that draws a pay-per-view. They've got to sell pay-per-views, I get that. But in every other respect, you could treat this as just this massive festival of the business.
Could that be Dom? I don't know where that's come from. Could that be Will Ospreay's first title defense?
You'd think so.
Yeah.
You would think so.
Forbidden Door. Oh, because he wins it all in, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, yeah. Absolutely. Like
his
you lead
first
with that.
pay-per-view defense, yeah.
Yeah.
So his first like major match, he headlines, he said he was going to bring the belt back, all that. But it's something that is going to draw people stateside and are buying the show.
Say this for Ospreay as well, because he's Will Ospreay and he's so absolutely incredible. This new sort of class of potential or hoped for New Japan headliners, they've never looked more like the authentic article than when they were in the ring with Will Ospreay. What he did with Shota Umino was nothing less than magic. Umino has never showed me anything realistically other than that match against, at that level, certainly. At that level, it was an absolute, verged on masterpiece, and it's one of those matches that just gets better every single time. Shota doesn't really do much thereafter. Ospreay had a match with Tsuji, which was awesome. So if they want to really profile these, like, this sort of newer class, give them Ospreay. But there's no dream matches left. I don't want to get in the mood because I'm really excited about this Dynamite, but you led us down this path, and
sorry,
not many leaves on those trees.
I think they can sell an Ospreay world title. I think they can sell a bunch of them,
against New Japan,
either against New Japan or within AEW.
Gabe Kidd.
Gabe
I
Kidd.
was thinking Gabe Kidd, yeah.
He's got a historic beef with Zack Sabre Jr. and the different men.
Oh, they've never done that at this level.
This is it. The different men than the last time they used to fight.
That could really be something.
The stuff, he's not New Japan now, but it was Okada giving...
Their matches were incredible as well.
Okada giving Ospreay, he's the guy, getting to do this again on this stage for the AEW world title. Okada will have just lost to Kenny. Right? Yeah, I think there's stuff there. I don't know,
just with Okada specifically, that New Japan departure was a bit more acrimonious than I'm inferring anyway, that it was a bit more acrimonious.
Didn't put nobody over.
Then was really reported at the time. Yes, he appeared on Forbidden Door last year, but in a pretty lower capacity. I can't imagine New Japan will want that big a deal stage for him. I don't know, maybe things have changed, or maybe I'm just making stuff up.
Well, let's talk about tonight's card.
Yeah, it's tonight. I'm going to set my alarm and go, oh, God, I forgot it's NXT tonight. Oh, God, I set my alarm for 6:30 tomorrow. I cannot wait.
What, you watching NXT Double Speed on the train?
No, I'm not watching it at all.
How's that going to work then if you're setting your alarm so late?
I'm getting my alarm set for 6:30 so I can get up.
Oh, you watching in the office?
Can we talk about AEW, please?
2 championship matches tonight, Sidge. You got the Trios Championships and the
Get the boring stuff out of the way.
Tag Team Championships. Yeah, I was going to...
Well, the Trios match bores me.
Well, let's start with that then. Death Riders versus the Ops.
Any notion of a shock title change evaporated upon the news that, due to injury reasons, Jon Moxley has to replace Pac. Moxley ain't doing no job. His first job since becoming champion, which is kind of overdue. AEW has this record with its men's world champion anyway of these long reigns often get disrupted quite a way in an eliminator or something, just to juice up the idea of a return match on TV. I can't see it here, maybe. I don't know. I know you could always just pin Wheeler Yuta, but then that's one of the reasons why Wheeler Yuta's never going to get over, He's starting to maybe, I don't know why you're nodding, you hate him, but...
No, he's putting it together in the matches a bit more, isn't he?
Yeah, he's becoming He
won their match against Rated FTR.
He was in Philly.
He's little ass.
He's
a little ass.
He's a little ass, and he's really getting that character down. Yeah, I can't see a title change. Maybe Marina Shafir will interfere. I don't know, because with the idea of looking ahead to Anarchy in the Arena, maybe they want 1 or 2 of the Ops to align with the teased babyface super team of Kenny Omega, just fist bump Swerve Strickland. Swerve Strickland and Hangman Page are being drawn together in the narrative. There's those 3 plus 2. So maybe you do need to protect the Ops. Maybe it'll just be a Debbie Deeks finish or something.
You talked about Shibata getting taken out of it, maybe the way they booked him last week.
Yeah, maybe. Look, I'm going to be on the... I'm really looking forward to this Dynamite. This is the most anticipated Dynamite of the year. It's a special. You just feel
Use your special.
You just get the feeling like Tony Khan wants this show, the Piss Off Bischoff show, to just go really right. I think it's going to be the most well-booked and well-presented show of the year. I just don't think he's doing this and listening to a bad idea, which he's still prone to do. I know he says he doesn't do it, but then it's like a 3-year cycle in it. I was listening to too many bad ideas. Dynamite will go bad for a bit. Yeah, I did that again. I'm not doing that again. I just think this will be his show, maybe for better and for worse. So to be generous about the Death Riders, or rather optimistic about the Death Riders, which I just don't like to do because I'm bored to tears, and I said it from week 1. This was not... No, week 2, post plastic bag. we need to change the AEW. It's gone man. That's what Pac said in the voiceover on the Dynamite. So I was like, instantly, I was like, ooh, doing our company is bad storyline never works. Don't do this. How are you doing it? And then ipso facto, the next however many months happen. But to be optimistic, maybe, just maybe, Moxley, who likes the rough and tumble of wrestling, he just likes to grapple, he likes to be real about it. Maybe he will see Joe on the other side of that ring, on the other side of that match graphic, and think, I'll have a bit of that, actually. I will have a bit of that. And Joe, I don't think he'll sort of stand idly by as Mox goes, we'll do whatever. He'll fight his corner. I get the feeling that them two might want to wrestle each other. They might want to interact. And if this match is built around the idea of, Mox is, he's beating up Hook. And then, Joe the entire time is just staring at him as if to say, just tag me in. And Mox is going, nope. And then when Joe finally gets in, there is a skeleton of a good match here. The skeleton of a good match with some really good teasers to a really cool interaction. And if the interaction between Joe and Mox, I know they did Ambrose Joe in 2017 or whenever it was, but it doesn't count. It does not count. No. For the style of match that they would excel at, that Raw match doesn't matter. Maybe, just maybe, Joe, or the promise of wrestling Joe, could summon the old Moxley back. And who knows if that interaction, as good as it could be, people will campaign to see it at Adno Fyter Fest.
Yeah. Or you do the opposite and tease people with that. And Mox is just like, I don't want anything to do with Joe. And then you have to see that at Double or Nothing, that bitch or whatever.
Yeah. Let's see. I was watching him on the corner of my eye, and he doesn't give a damn.
I look at this match like Sidgwick Miz, Jimmy, so proper different needs. Yeah. I could not stand the sight of the graphic, let alone the idea of the match in my head. And yet,
make you sick to your stomach like Hook was last week.
Yeah, sick to my stomach, JR, in the middle of the ring.
Hope he's all right. That, Jesus Christ,
he's not concussed. That's good news.
But I just he hops like the Life Riders, you know what I mean, the good guy versions.
Well, like Life Riders.
Even lamer good guy version of the bad heel stable. I don't like them.
It's too hard, isn't it?
Too hard. I don't like him. Shibata got destroyed last week. Complete f***ing dog.
Someone.
And the match, Sid is right. There's, it's a little bit Joe for me as well. I've seen that man live loads. I get it. I felt it.
I was there when you lost your mind when he showed up at Ring of Honor.
I think he's one of the most overrated wrestlers of all time. I really because of the praise he gets. I think he is one of the most overrated wrestlers.
I think that peak
time.
Was so affecting,
transcendent to people of a certain.
Yeah, and I mean, it was every bit as good. If you want, I mean, Joe Necro Butcher, Joe Kobashi, I mean, Joe Punk. His peak coincided with a lot of lapsed fans detesting WWE, early 2000s WWE, needing a Ring of Honor. It was, you talk about you talk about your Psalms, you talk about AEW and the Freakazoids and how much they want to love the idea of AEW because of what wrestling was before then. The exact same thing happened with Ring of Honor and a generation of fans. They needed an alternative because the Fed was so bad, and Ring of Honor was their best version of it, really. So I understand, but at the same time, those studio albums haven't been great for a long time.
Yeah.
He's lived off the greatest hits for me, Joe. So I understand your qualms.
In the stable, the characterization couldn't do less for me in wrestling, full stop at this point. I wouldn't want to see this in any of the wrestling I watch, and we got 2 of them.
So we had a Q&A. We did our Q&A podcast on Friday. And I can't remember who it was, and I regret not answering the question because I meant to do it just to pop him. But someone, sharp wit, asked the question, are the ops just towel galas?
Yes.
Yes.
That's great stuff.
The other title match is, of course, the tag team titles. It is the Hurt Syndicate versus the Gates of Agony, and we obviously have to mention Maxwell Jacob Friedman along with all this.
Indeed. I would suggest the Hurt Syndicate need a really strong bit of business in the ring, not before long. They felt like they were going to be one of the leading lights of AEW in very early 2025 when, you set the tone for the year. Mm-hmm. Here's who we're focusing on. Latch onto this, fall in love with it. And I did precisely that when the Hurt Syndicate murdered Private Party in an unbelievable bit of business. A perfect TV match. The Guns match was slight diminished return, but I thought it was really strong.
Yeah.
Really strong. Ever since then, in the ring, not good. Like, really not good. Like, really poorly conceived in terms of there's like structural issues with these Hurt Syndicate matches.
Big Bobbo's having a funny run of form at the moment, isn't he? He's really great in flashes, but then bits of it like fall apart in the middle of the match. Do you know what I mean?
Do you think Big Bobby Lashley, it's Bobby Lashley, has maybe walked in thinking, I'll be the world champion at some point, and then quickly realized, do you think it's just a check to him? And I mean, it's his character.
He's cooler in a suit than his tights at the moment.
Yes, indeed. That's a good take. That's a good take. And, I'm going to be nice here because they're still green, but new on the scene. Gates of Agony had a match against Hounds of Hell on Collision. Not good.
No.
Not good. Loads of really awkward moments in that. However, and I have been keeping a little bit abreast of Ring of Honor recently, mainly because Von Wagner was on there, and I'm like, I'll have a little watch of this, actually. Gates of Agony are, in fact, having a nice, quiet little Ring of Honor run. That's maybe Ring of Honor is serving its purpose in secret, so people don't have to really watch it too much. But yeah, they have come on a bit of the Gates of Agony, so it's sort of, if it's a meritocracy, if you're doing well, you'll get the spotlight. I think the idea is, even though the Hurt Syndicate work much better against yapping little heels, like imagine Hurt Syndicate versus Blake Christian and Lee Johnson.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
That would be the perfect use of the dynamic and the contrast. I think the idea is, again, they want to pair the Hurt Syndicate with a team of similar stature, powerhouse guys, Gates of Agony, with the idea being that the fans might more believe that Gates of Agony can credibly hurt them or weaken them or get a chance, and that'll allow MJF to go, this is where I come in, because I'm, one of the lads. You should tweet that, by the way. Like the lads is a caption. Like the lads with him. So I think they want a big unit team to sort of make it the notion that MJF feels he has to interfere credible, Hurt Syndicate will win. Shelton will go, actually, come on, he helped us out there. We were kind of a little bit in trouble. Shut up, no, we weren't, blah, 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 blah. Lashley's still out. It's too early.
Yeah.
You do Shelton, because MVP's in. Shelton Benjamin, he's funny, and I want to hang out with this guy, actually.
The stanza,
Yeah, and then it's Lashley's turn to do the sideways. No, never. And then the week after, in the weeks to come, MJF's going to have to hurt someone badly, but we don't do that tonight.
Yeah. No, I like it. And
tonight's not the night, just to ask. I agree, by the way, with everything you said, but tonight's not the night to do the whole, you'll never guess, Shelton's stuck in bloody traffic again. We need someone else to step up.
Probably not.
But yeah, it was about it.
You don't want to do false advertising, even if it's for a storyline purpose. You don't want to do worked false advertising when the whole idea, really the whole loose theme of the night is you, Eric Bischoff. Because that was one of the deaths, one of the big moments of, it's dead and ain't ever coming back. That's Goldberg Nash. No, it isn't. It's something else. It's the Georgia Dome. You can't false advertise at the Georgia Dome. What are you thinking?
That's a good
dome.
That's a good Al.
I've got my history right there.
Yeah.
It was meant to be Goldberg Nash on
Goldberg
the
Nash. Then it was like Nash Hogan. Now we'll give it. It's something better, if anything.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't know, 50,000 attendance, something.
35.
35 was it? And they went back 20,000, I think it was in the March when they went back, and the Fed ran it and sold it out in September. So.
He's absolutely celebrating it.
Did a feature on
Do a celebratory yeet if you want.
Did a feature.
Do a celebratory yeet if you want.
It wasn't really my time, but okay.
This game was pretty cool. we're going back to Atlanta. Jim Ross out there. I got some history here. A little jag off.
Where is he now?
MJF.
I mean, we got the FedEx.
Is fantastic with attires, little details, little touches, little tweaks. What could he wear tonight that is a little nod to Nitro? I am racking my brains. Is there anyone ever iconically in a suit in Nitro? I can't think of one. I was thinking like tonight's the night he goes with like leather jacket and Hurt Syndicate t-shirt like Bischoff. Like, is there something
Just
just...
say Lex Luger's shirt for a second.
The big white shirt
Oh,
with
yeah.
the Burberry scarf down there.
I like that. In terms of...
What the hell's he doing here in the middle of the match?
Yes! A denim Scott Hall one. You know I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Flair.
Look at the adjective.
Flair had some suits.
He had the tux and the horseman. Fire me, I'm already fired.
Yeah. Do you ever wear like a suit jacket and a turtleneck, or have I just completely made that up, Flair?
He was... Do you know what he got into late in the day? Like Magnificent Seven sort of thing.
Jesus Christ.
He quite liked like leather jacket and a turtleneck. Do you remember
Yeah,
that?
I knew you had a turtleneck.
It was like leather blazer almost. Really strange. Because then he carried it over when he was like the co-owner with Vince for a bit in WWF. It was like, what the hell's going on with Flair? Yeah. Like when he like spiked his hair up when it was growing back after Russo. Weird.
It's weird watching WC.
What's going on?
Like, oh my God, what a weird time. Watching Hogan just be like in street clothes and FUNB and he's like big baggy pants. It's like, what are you doing to yourself, mate?
You know when they put like this, I would say this is the difference. Fed and WCW. Like, remember when obviously they put him back in the red and yellow in WWE? Tanks, but it's pretty amazing look. It's the Hollywood look, but it's the red and yellow one. When WCW put him back in the red and yellow, they put him in like the trunks and the red knee pads, and he had like Steve Austin knee braces behind those red knees. It's not 86, mate. Like, figure this out.
I've just done an editorial which should be available soon on whatculture.com/WWE about the about the revisiting Heroes of Wrestling. And it's so funny because you were talking about Hogan, red and yellow, in WCW, right? They do that. This guy, I forget his name, Bill Stone, the promoter of Heroes of Wrestling, must have this idea, like, earliest 1998. He hasn't obviously had it like 2 months before the show. He's had it for a longish time. He's thinking, Heroes of Wrestling, it's all about the kids sitting down with the parents, and the parents can show them who they used to love. It's like, this is probably going to go badly wrong, man. It's badly wrong. Hogan dusts off the red and yellow 2 months before Heroes of Wrestling, and WCW's business continues to crater, right? Can you imagine being the Heroes of Wrestling promoter and going, Jesus Christ, red and yellow Hogan nostalgia's not working. My entire show's based around it. George the Animal Steel's not going to do anything if freaking Hogan nostalgia's not working. He was only 3 years too early.
Well, it's Heroes of Wrestling was like the summer of 99, right? Like October 99. Like the infamous Jake Roberts and, you know, like the pace of pro wrestling was scary back then. October 1999, right? Jake Roberts was working for the Fed in October 1996. They were putting Heroes of Wrestling card together with people from WrestleMania 38.
I know.
That was Heroes of Wrestling today. But you would think, well, 50 years ago when Jake Roberts was in the World Wrestling, but it is insane.
It's insane.
Neidhart works it. The Hart Foundation were the lead heel act in 97.
Yeah.
Neidhart was on Nitro in 98, and he's working Heroes of Wrestling now. Here comes old Jim Neidhart. What?
And 98. And another thing, it said Marty Jannetty. He was in unbelievable shape.
Jack Jannetty era, that.
Jack
He was trying to get a
Jannetty.
WCW job.
Jack Jannetty, right? Tommy Rogers
Yeah.
against head shrinker Samu and the Tonga Kid.
Mm-hmm.
Tonga Kid's like 31 or something. Like Samu, I think it's Samu, he's like 36.
Yeah.
No, they're 33 and 36.
He's like 4 years shy of just being the head shrinkers.
Yeah.
In the Fed. Yeah. 4 years.
They're 33 and 36. Like, they are known as like relics.
Yeah.
Artifacts.
It's so...
They're younger than Cody. They're younger than Roman. They're probably younger than Seth at this point. Younger than Punk.
Yeah.
Younger than all of them.
All of them. It is mental.
Mental.
But getting back to tonight's Dynamite, let's talk all things.
Sherry would have been like early 40s, and George Steele's there, and it's like he's brought like your gran.
No.
Something like it is just. It's so weird.
It's
like she's on his arm, and it's like there they are, the wacky old couple. Like
it is so phenomenally bleak because obviously wrestling was a very different and worse place. Like these people are like broken down artifacts of a different era, and they're younger than WWE guys now because they lived that late 80s WWF schedule, that daily show, like what 29 out of 31 or whatever.
The killer calendar.
The killer calendar. What it did to those people, it's horrible. Anyway, moving on to the celebration.
Let's talk all things Owen Hart Cup then, and let's start with the match you referenced earlier: Will Ospreay versus Konosuke Takeshita.
Jesus Christ, this is. I would be shocked if Tony Khan. It's not cynical. You're putting Will Ospreay on the path to the world title, right? Konosuke Takeshita is, he wins a lot. He's amazing. He's tournament. He's Owen worthy.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about like Mark Briscoe, incredible legend of the game at this point. Probably not his character and how he's booked Owen worthy. Takeshita's Owen worthy. Ospreay is your world champion elect. Probably this match is totally justified, and yet the timing of it wouldn't shock me one bit if Tony Khan has thought, I want people to say the best match of WrestleMania week happened on AEW Dynamite. I'm just saying, it's fair enough. It's a promotion.
Yeah.
It's a promotion game.
Go for it.
Go for it. It's a war. I'm just saying you can have something joyful and cynical at the exact same time, and this will be joyful. Ospreay's winning, but it's Ospreay. If he can convince you, I've crapped on this guy twice. If he can convince you Shota Umino is a future star, he can convince you in the guts of a wrestling match that Takeshita's going to beat him. He's Will Ospreay, So it feels predictable, but most good wrestling is, and it won't feel like that in the moment because you're going to lose your goddamn mind. I've enjoyed Ospreay adding a bit of levity to his TV work this year. I really have. Now's the time to do your pay-per-view match on TV. And guess what? He hasn't been doing that weekly, so this feels like a special event again. I think all of this is a conscious choice. This feels special again. You do your 18, 20 minutes. Like, please. Like, if they do 14, I'm gasping for more. Absolutely, like, they've missed the ceiling. This could have been even better than the first one. Maybe that's good. Maybe the idea is, I can't wait to see Ospreay's title run. But at the same, I won't complain in any event, I don't think. I'm just so hyped for this.
Where does it land on the card? Open? Main event?
I'll let Hamflett answer that. He's got an idea. He's forgotten it already by the looks of his bracket.
I'll remember.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I shudder to think what they are going to do to each other in this match, right? Yeah, I know what the idea is. This is longer than Nitro, and God damn it, it's better too. Look at this action. You didn't get it on Nitro. You thought you did with the Cruiserweights. This is not being funny. It felt like a buggy demo of what you get now. If you go back and watch those Cruiserweight matches from WCW, they're so inventive and futuristic, they can't even perfect what they're doing yet. It's just too mind-blowing.
Psychosis and like Cyclical and all that are just all over the shop.
They're all over the
City
shop.
Jones, but it's too good.
Yeah, it's too good.
Class,
you don't care. You don't
That's
care.
why Ray's one of the best, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Didn't get much wrong.
So this is going to be probably the best version of this match is better than any Nitro match ever, with the exception of, hang on. It's like, does Hamflett know my mind?
It's time to play the game! Time to play the game! Ha 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 ha!
What's Michael Sidgwick's favorite Nitro match ever?
DDP versus Sting.
Correct.
Oh, that was going to be my first guess out of 3, and I was like, well, if it's not that, I'm in real trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That match is
Bagwell
incredible.
Booker T from the one they did on Raw.
Mr. Fed. Junior Dr. Fed over here. I love that match so much.
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably 50 Dynamite ones better, but what is it about that goddamn match? It's like, it's in the forever times. April 99, isn't it?
Yeah. They're
They're just so into it.
They've elevated DDP too late,
Yeah.
is the reality, but the fans are desperate still. He had, probably an underrated and understated hold on people, DDP, but for all the luck he had in... look, that's not fair, but he made it just in time,
Yeah.
age-wise. but he happened to make it at the same time as like Austin and Rock on the
Yeah.
other side, and then you know.
I put him together with Sting, who I reckon might have been so motivated to make up for lost time because the whole idea of him not wrestling a single televised match in AEW until in 1997 until December, and then the run not going well when it did. Maybe he's just like, no, I need to dig some of that pride ahead of my prime. Oh, why I'm quoting King of the Ring all over this place. But yeah, Ospreay, Takeshita, I dread to think what they're going to do to each other, with the idea being this is a celebration, be the best. Be the goddamn best. That's what we are. Best and longest. And most girth. Like, if you think about applying the rules of a pro wrestling sequel, and in my mind, I'm thinking, going back in time to what they did to each other at the Revolution match last year, the idea is you build on sequences, especially in these shootout matches, you build on sequences, right? Okay, well, he did this to me last time. How can I do a counter? The kind of problem, it's a luxurious problem, is that there were so many unbelievable, I'm boring here, so many, I yawned, so many
He's up early for his
unbelievable,
flight today.
unbelievable counters that, how do you counter those counters? Like, example, Ospreay goes to do an Oz cutter. Takeshita seamlessly catches him in midair, rotates him 3 times and does a Blue Thunder bomb. It's one of the best spots of the entire year last year. What if they do that? Oz cutter, springboard, Blue Thunder bomb, 3 rotations, hop on his shoulders, Poison Rana, or Stun Dog Millionaire. I mean, how do you build on what they did?
Yeah, I was thinking regular Hurricane Rana and you went Poison. I was thinking like, oh, he stays on, he clings on and Rana's him, and then you're like, oh, round the back actually, on the neck.
They'll do that in the 3rd match. Do yours tonight, tomorrow night, whatever, and then that one in the 3rd match. They do this crunchy spot, that sort of tombstone deal that Takeshita does, where it's unbelievable the level of trust they have in each other and the physical timing, where in one motion, Takeshita gets Ospreay's hands, yanks him up, and by the time Ospreay is just wrapped the arms around, his head's on the floor, or the top of his back's on the floor. It's like, how are you capable of doing these things to each other? It's ridiculous. The idea that they'll remember this match, they'll want to build on the people who do remember this match and make it even better and more gnarly and hard-hitting is frankly terrifying. They'll do well, too, to tease the brainbuster. Remember Ospreay's arse and back? He took the brainbuster, but his head missed it.
Oh, yeah.
He scraped it all. They should tease that and reference it on commentary.
Yeah.
There's loads they can do here.
I need to watch that first. I'm not going to get a chance now, but I'd like that first match for the callbacks that they almost definitely will insert in this.
I watched it again when I did 30 best AEW matches ever. Spoiler, it's on the list. You can read that at whatculture.com/WWE. It's incredible.
This has got to open the show.
There's a German suplex in it. It's disgusting.
Was it the German suplex that he did his thesis on, Takeshita?
Yes.
Is that the story? It's got to open the show. There's a Nitro tribute there in terms, like Pillman and Liger opened up Nitro way back when. The Cruiserweights were known for like the first hour spot. The work rate matches were the first hour, even if it wasn't like the kind
The
of
theme is Nitro, but better, so let's go for it.
Yeah.
even if it wasn't like the high flying cruisers, like Malenko was great in those first hours, Perry Saturn and the like. The smaller guys that were waiting for the opportunity, these are not them. They're both massive, but AEW is a different promotion to WCW in that it allows for an Ospreay and a Takeshita to go beyond where those, the people that paved the way were able to go, and that kind of illustrates that as well.
This first match was so unbelievable. The people in the venue will be so hyped that they're getting it for free. They probably bought a ticket for the Dynamite and thought, oh, it's the best match, we can get that. They probably didn't think they were getting this. Like, bell pop. This is going to get a bell pop, so I'll put it first.
It's another case as well of these, we've talked at length now about, I don't think this was just us. Everybody saying a thing has happened and that thing has come true, which is the smaller buildings generate the better atmospheres, which creates the vibe that you need to cultivate a better product around in these empty arenas. What they're doing repeatedly, really, at this point in 2025, is they're rebuilding the relationships with towns. They were killing towns in these big buildings because you were going there and having a pretty boring night. We watched them kill in Vegas,
Even
firsthand.
Yeah,
and
even
like
the good shows were like, oh, it's still not the best time.
Yeah.
There's no one around.
yeah, this is the opposite, the total opposite. And like everyone that buys a ticket for this is going to come back the next time. And then if the buildings get bigger, it's like, well, it's good, it's okay because they're bringing their friends. You know, it's like it's great business as well as good telly.
So we not only get that in the semi-finals, but over in the women's Owen Hart Cup, it is it's a dream match, basically. It's the only women's match on the card, but what a match it is. It is Mercedes
Money.
versus the Ring of Honor Women's World Champion, Athena.
The ceiling for this match is nothing less than the best non-gimmick women's match in AEW history. I want to set expectations on this. The wrestlers will want you to.
This is the start of several. We've talked about this on the Collision
this
Review.
could be a series. This could and probably should be a series. It feels weird that they've had Billy Starks do the scouting and they've like drawn these together slowly just for a second round match in a tournament. I think this is going to be a series. I'm really looking forward to it.
Winner of this faces Stat Hater. Is that right? In the other semi?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the person who wins this goes to the final.
Yes.
Yeah. This could be potentially unbelievable. As I said, like the ceiling of this, like it's not going to be as good as the Hollywood ending. If it is, you're looking at match of the year because that was one of the matches of the year. And it had a lot of shortcuts and like well-earned shortcuts, but you know, a lot of these things that are quite easy. Not easy. Like, you don't get a glass bottle to the minge in every single match you ever watch, but
Not anymore. Business has changed.
just like not easy ideas to come up with, but easy ways to go. I'll get a pop from the good idea, if that makes any sense. If this clicks, you've got the wrestler with the most devastating finish, some of the best forearms in the game, that ability to control someone in the spaces between moves, like the low pay isn't Darby Allin tier, but no, nothing is, so it's the tier below the Darby Allin tier, that low pay, versus the person who's the best at getting killed. Killer versus the victim. The best killer versus victim match in women's wrestling in the United States, and indeed just wrestling in the United States in general. Mercedes, even her best matches, even her very best matches have the odd moment. Oh, slipped, you enjoy your trip. And the best... He's almost slipped off the table. Have...
I haven't heard that in years. Enjoyed it.
Odd moment
You already felt bad. I just made it worse.
of clunkiness,
Yeah.
or the finish never looks great and shit. And like I think everyone in their bloody dog is saying change that.
Yeah.
So there is the potential that you might get the odd deflating moment, and they'll bring it back probably by taking some unhinged bump on the apron. But if this goes 100% perfect and it's given the time and the fans actually, because that's the worry, Athena's over in AEW, but I don't know if the online sentiment, why would it be? Who the frig watches Ring of Honor, you know? I don't know if the online sentiment is that. Come on, we're doing this. I'm talking myself out of this being amazing because I'm worried that it won't be, because that means I'm invested in it. What is the best non-gimmicked, like, i.e. not Hollywood ending, not Rosa Baker Lights Out, not some of the tags they've done? It's either for me, Nyla Rose Riho 2, unbelievable match that, February 2020, or Sheeta Hater. I don't know which one I like more. Maybe Riho Nyla. Oh, I think I've flip-flopped in my head a few times. Riho Nyla's magic. Absolutely friggin' magic. It's the first match, but better. No botches, no slight logic issues. Like it's almost like an action platformer. There's a table that gets erected, and Riho sprints across it, then does the Meteora. Ah, God, what a match!
I loved Money and Willow. Double or Nothing?
Was it Double or Nothing? I think it was Double or Nothing, yeah.
Love that. But it's like, this is massive. Someone, like, it's effectively someone's always got to go.
Oh, you know what? I'm an idiot. It's in Boston, Mass.
Yeah.
Even if they don't buy Athena, they'll buy
The hometown favourite.
like
It's not difficult.
Athena healing up in front of people there for Mercedes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's like the stakes will, you can make them calm, because the longer the match goes, even if there are those little janky moments or whatever, the realization setting in that somebody has to lose this, you'll feel that swell. Yeah. Like Boston will probably want Mercedes to win, but you'll feel the swell around the near falls and around the sort of the home stretch, especially because
what a time for Mercedes to do her first job.
Yeah, like if she loses here, the heat for Athena is massive.
She could screw her out the final. You could set up all in that way.
The O-face is a kill shot.
Yeah.
So that's a way to lose. You know, she could be
Mercedes selling that.
She's bouncing off the neck. Oh, and as she hits it, like flies halfway across the ring. Billy Starks has been the one to run in and distract or something like that to leave her prone for that. If they wanted to, I would quite like them, really sell the impact, because people know that from, you know, when she was Ember Moon and Oblivion, and it's a viral move, really, because a lot of her best work was done similarly to the Ring of Honor situation, was done in NXT that not everybody was necessarily watching. And there is a template. It's not going to work perfectly like for like on this, because Athena was like kind of a white meat babyface, but the template is the first takeover match Athena had with Asuka in NXT finds a situation again where you kind of got like immovable object, unstoppable force deal, where Asuka just cannot be beaten by anybody, but Athena knows she's got that move. She's got that move, and she's got the belief in herself to leave her opponent prone to hit her. So then Asuka has to resort to like pushing the referee into the ropes. Desperation ways to avoid getting hit with this kill shot. Monet's really good at that, but can still court the babyface reactions as she does it. The escapes, the sort of the will to win, even when you're seeing her getting bounced around. She'll Ricky Morton it a little bit. You know, there's so much to get excited about here, and I'm telling you, man, when they're exchanging those 2 counts towards the end, it's going to be electric. It's going to be the forever Ring of Honor champion. Fair enough, isn't going to lose the belt, but might just get pinned in front of you 1, 2, 3, and you're in the building for it. Or Mercedes Moné is going to lose for the first time, and it's for the advancement in a tournament. It's not just a thing. It's like, well, they're going to go on, and this is going to continue to matter. It's brilliant. But I think doing this in this tournament setting is brilliant booking. I really do. And I think they'll, to your point, I think they'll relish the pressure. They want people to raise their expectations, and they want to exceed those expectations. It's perfect setting for it.
You got
Athena.
Yeah, same. I just think, I honestly don't mind, and I've got a lot of faith in the process at this point in whatever they're kind of cooking up here. But Athena 2 for me, it's a perfect first defeat for Mercedes Moné. That finisher, when she takes it and loses to it, even if it's as a result of distraction, puts over the finisher, puts over Athena in the AEW context. One of the first times, really, since she moved to Ring of Honor. And you may as well stick, for the prestige of this win, you may as well stick another 300 days on that Ring of Honor title reign.
Yes.
That's how valuable this one win will be in people's mind when they look at Athena.
Main event?
I would love it if they made it.
Moxley's the main event.
Oh, God. And that's the worst outcome.
What a tribute to Nitro.
Yes. Hogan's up.
What a tribute to Nitro that would be.
But that will be the only women's match on this card.
Very touching.
Before we get to the name of the game, we have to get to the aim of the game.
Oh, we do. It's usually at the end, this.
I know, I've saved the wildcard stuff for afterwards as a little treat.
Okay, because I think people just go, right, okay, so just doing this thing, and that's the end. So, we'll put up with it, or, Spotify, 15 seconds, 15 seconds, 15 seconds.
Put up with it, I'll shut up with it.
The aim of the game is to identify to the hour, minute, and second the first time you hear the first note for the first entrance theme for the first woman to come out and wrestle for the only women's match on Dynamite. The idea being that traditionally, or at least more often than not, this tends to fall in that 1 hour 20, 1 hour 25 minute range, this being the one women's match on Dynamite. And you think, hang on, noticing a pattern here. Why is it always or more often than not then? You're thinking, could it be that between them, or maybe it's an order from the network, AEW and Warner are thinking, right, okay, we've got to put the bloody birds on the show. We've got to put bloody birds on the show. Otherwise, the Wokes will bloody kick off. So we'll just do one. Yeah, when? If we do it in the first hour, they'll think there's loads of them. No. Do it before the main event. I'm listening. Why? Because if you think of the market psychology, they'll be thinking, we've already bloody watched an hour and 20 minutes of this. Just get the birds over with. And you know what? They'll watch that, and the main event's really close behind, so they'll watch it. And I'm thinking, well, I'd rather watch Mercedes Moné versus Athena. If I had the choice between this match and the trio's main event, 100 times out of 100, I'm picking Mercedes Athena. I'm just saying that's what I believe they think of the AEW and wrestling audience. And if we can just nail it to that hour, minute, and second, we'll really put in bold and italicize and underscore what I perceive to be their cynical thought process. And you're thinking, I'm with you, Sidgwick. I'm with you. But you're talking a lot. I'm sorry, I often do. Could you jingleize that thought process to me? For me? Serenade me? I sure can. Don't worry, guys. When the women come out to play, the main event ain't too far away. And that is the aim of the game. The name of the game is... let me just get my notes. Get my notes here. Moxley is a friend. Yeah, I know he's been a good friend of mine. But lately something's changed that ain't hard to define. Moxley's booked himself on top and he's ruined Dynamite. And he's ruining my life. And he's spiking that body, I just know it. Yeah, he's holding that title late at night. You know, I wish it was a Moxley's turn. Now, Moxley's turn. Now. Why can't I find a headliner like that? Will Ospreay. Jesse's girl, Moxley's turn.
Tell me why I didn't know.
I know. I can't really sing, so I don't know why I do this every week. Keep my phone out. Need to play the game.
Thanks as always to the Panda Blower.
Spiking that body. I just know it. That's good. That's good. That's all good stuff.
Adam Blair at Adam Wilton, and Jose Palomares at the Whole 11. The guys who always take care of the
data.
Thanks for this sort of thing. Sidge last one when we were not just doing this for fun. So you can go first, Sidge. One correct guess for the year for you, 2 for Hamflett, 5 for me.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go with 1:15:34. I just feel like John Moxley being Hogan is AEW often, it's the most over-scrutinized promotion ever. A lot of it is like, come on, what we're doing here. Well, I know what we're doing here. We're creating podcasts. Unless you are recent invitee to the Grifters table, Jimmy Corderas.
What's going on there?
Meltzer keeps arguing with him. He doesn't even have a podcast.
I was just gonna say he's just out there saying what he thinks, and what he thinks is controversial, and then it's like, where's this going? Nowhere.
Yeah. Just as the usual, AEW bad, bad. Get a podcast. That's the point, you idiot.
Come on, Jimmy,
bro. So yeah, I just feel like AEW often will just have egg on its face. They are opening themselves up for, just like Nitro. Oh, guys, no one's interested in the main event, just like Nitro. So I can feel that coming in the future.
You're going to think I'm being cynical based on your typical choices.
1:15:34.
I am not, and I will explain why. I would like to go with Sidge. 1:23 dead. Not because I'm trying to undermine Wilbourn.
Landlock.
Because that will be 83 minutes.
Good. I like that. Well, I hope they main event now because I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So, yeah, you still got the win.
Yeah. We can dream. Finally, I've
thought of a Nitro thing that's unrelated to this game that we're going to play as well. They should split the commentary teams into 2, first hour and second hour. And they should have Tony Schiavone come out for the second hour and then have FTR run him off the commentary table like the NWO used to. Send him running. Like music hits, they come out, Tony's face looks all concerned straight away and they're just like, they're going to finish the job. Let's try to start.
There's no Nigel McGuinness here.
Yeah, exactly. He just has to run for the hills like they used to when the NWO turned up at the desk.
Love that.
Finally, we've got to talk about the quarterfinal in the Owen Hart Cup because it's Hangman Page versus a wild card.
Who's that? I know who Hangman Page is, mate.
Hangman Page.
Right.
I can't wait to go on holiday.
Do more of this, though. Here are some viable, earnest booking scenarios. Are you ready for me?
Yes.
Are you ready for me?
You all ready for me? I'll just say stuff sometimes, bro. Viable option, earnest pitch number 1. Hangman Page narrowly gets past your newest all-elite superstar, Josh Alexander, who has an awesome match. It'd be a great physical match for Hangman Page. They'd beat the absolute piss out of each other, and it'd be like, right, okay, I'm Josh Alexander. I'm slotted in at a certain level, but I'm here to take over one
Welcome
day.
to the big leagues.
Yeah, welcome to the big leagues. I came so close to Hangman Page. Booking option number 2, Hangman Page, in another Nitro tribute of sorts, wrestles a really exciting masked wrestler from CMLL with whom AEW are partnered, because there were lots of masked luchadors during Nitro's heyday. So they could lean on, just for, like, it's not like a mocking thing. If anything, that would be an affectionate tribute, and you'd probably get a cool match out of it, you know?
Yeah.
Earnest pitch number 3, which sounds ironic. I've actually got 4, which sounds ironic but isn't. Okay. So when the Young Bucks returned, they said, "You're welcome, Hangman. Yeah, enjoy Swerve not being champion. We did that for you. You said you never wanted to see him. We just are doing what you want." Either that's a taunt, and that they kind of hate Hangman Page. They did boot him out of the Elite. Or they're doing something for some purpose that's not yet revealed itself. Either way, if they're playing mind games with Hangman Page, okay, they could go, we've used our power. I hate this, by the way. I hate the Young Bucks having power in AEW. It makes no sense. It just, you can unravel it instantly. But for the purposes of this bit, I think they could do it. We've used our backstage power and our magical elite powers to give you a bit of an easy ride. All right, they'll pretend like, this guy is, this guy's such a chilling dude. Like, my God, he's so cold-blooded that ice runs through his veins. I think I might have seen this on Twitter, actually. And it's Glacier.
Nice.
Yeah, who's had that AEW connection the odd time, right? 4th pitch is, it's a returning Jack Perry. Okay? And again, nothing I'm just come out with here. A returning Jack Perry, but the finish, because they'll want to, I don't think they'll just want to job him out immediately. Hangman Page and Jack Perry are having this little match. And at the finish, the Elite the Bucks try and cheat on Perry's behalf, but Omega has renewed hostilities with the Elite, and he's got revenge on his brain, even though he says he doesn't want revenge, except he's getting revenge. Like, why does Kenny say he doesn't want revenge? Ever. It's weird. Why doesn't the best wrestler of all time get the babyface revenge thing? I don't know, but he doesn't. He could potentially get the revenge he says he doesn't want. Get at the expense of Jack Perry, cheats him out of that, and he can just tie up that loose end at Fyter Fest. Fyter Fest, that bitch loose end.
Yeah.
So those are the 4
Conditional loose end.
other 4 pitches I have.
Well,
Some mine, some I've read elsewhere. Putting them all together.
as a sort of add-on to the Glacier pitch, when Sidge was telling me about this, I thought he was going to go down the route of the corporation picking Gilbert in the Deadly Game, and it's Brandon Cutler.
Okay.
Like, here you go, Hangman. We've got the toughest guy we know backstage, and then Hangman squashes him, and it's like the Young Bucks are trying to help him through at the final, but they're going to screw him at the, that kind of thing.
Going to face Cole Fletcher, is that right?
Yes, which makes us think Hanger's going to win.
Yeah.
What a match that would be.
Yeah.
It's almost too early to do that.
Well, I think Hangman wins tonight, but it's got to be a legit opponent in order for the Fletcher thing. Jarrett is a proper consideration. They run it back.
People really don't like Jarrett, bro.
They don't, but it's quite a nice.
They were getting there last year as well.
Well, but would this not be nice? They've just got back to as of
Jarrett's got the Nitro thing as well.
Jarrett's got the Nitro thing, right? They've got, this is a year on from Hangman's return as that most evil version of himself, and 1 year later, look, he's finally good again. It's taken a year. Like, what a difference a year makes. Here we are now. Once again. Handshake at the end. Like, he beats him clean with the buckshot or whatever, but now it's a very different tone than last year's, like, frankly, scary return of Hangman Page last year when he beat Jarrett. So I think that's quite nice. Like symmetry from a year on. It's harmless for Jarrett to come back and lose that match.
It's time to wrap up this Hangman Page thing, because if you think about it, he's been darting about in this angry fugue state for a full year. Can you imagine him like he's doing this in the airport. It's getting a bit much, I think.
So this almost like sort of closes the book on it, doesn't it? Because it's where it started. Like the Jack Perry one, obviously I saw that come out and it's easy to join those dots, but a lot of people kind of groaned because it's Jack Perry. He's left a real damaged reputation in his wake.
Stinks.
But the match could be quite good. Like, Jack Perry...
He's a born babyface.
I know. I like the idea of them, probably Jack Perry attempting to go to sleep on Hangman Page. Just a little something.
One more.
Just a little something.
One more.
For the old times. I like Hangman Page, grabs him in a real tight headlock and the referee separates him. He's like, I just choked him a little bit. Yeah. So a little something for them. I don't think it'd be that bad. I think there'd be a certain novelty to having Jack Perry come back.
He's awful.
He's left some real damage. His reputation is in.
I love it's irredeemable. I loved him as a babyface.
Yeah,
loved him. He's awful as a heel. Absolutely putrid. Inability to understand the role one bit.
He got every shot, didn't he?
Every shot,
they
botched
tried.
them all. He does not understand how to do it. It's that simple.
All great suggestions, but of course this is like a WCW celebration show, so why not have an alumni from WCW even?
Bloody desperate.
So he's on the break.
You got Carl Fletcher.
It's Rampage.
You got Carl Fletcher and Will Ospreay in the semi-finals. You're welcome. But what if it's an alumni from WCW to face Hangman Page? And therefore...
It's time to play the game! Time to play the game! Ha 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 ha!
This could go wrong a little bit.
Which WCW star is the wild card? Who wants to go first? Provo rules, obviously.
I'll use your judgment for, the ones who can't be on the game.
One was in town. That's what worked. Ring of Honor. Was he out?
I out of your mind, crowbar.
He could be still that.
Yeah.
Didn't work his timeless crowbar gimmick. He said, an opportunity is this. I can use the vest on straight away.
I will. Are you doing it? Okay, I'll go first.
Yeah.
Usual. Stop.
Picking on between 1 and 12.
8.
Haku.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
That's pretty awesome.
I'm done. That's mine.
As Meng versus Hangman Page, they would kick the f***ing shit out of each other.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
I'm not topping that. I mean, I'll play, but god damn.
Meng.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Hand over to you.
Stop.
This is a fear, man.
1 to 12.
That means Barb will be on this list as well.
I love the
Bring
Barb.
both in. Just bring the face of fear in. Yeah, he's ass kickers. 2.
Billy Kidman.
He's a WWE agent.
He's an agent, yeah.
Yes.
He's been brothered in for years, that bastard.
But since the buyout. Yeah. Twist, yeah. Stop.
1 to 12.
11.
Situation.
Oh, you don't know. More like will you invade it and wrestle for them in a tank?
It's Road Dogg.
Twist.
You'd say Tony Khan looked, what was it?
You look smooth AF, not gonna lie.
I would love it if Road Dogg was the wild card. 'Cause I mean, he does this and he's not booking SmackDown either. Win.
You know what they should do? I was gonna tweet this. I might tweet it if I've had a few days without many likes, right? Have you ever seen Always Sunny in Philadelphia episode, The Gang Broke D?
Yeah, all time favorite, maybe.
Where basically they pretend that one of the characters, D, has got like a career, like in like stand up and acting, and like they go through this incredibly elaborate routes where she thinks she's made it, and at the end it's like, no, you didn't. Just,
like so far. I've never seen a TV show go that far with it.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
because it's just starts.
You're waiting for the rug pull.
Because she starts the episode like really miserable, and she's not even like, she's just like, oh, you look like a stupid bird. And she's like, yeah, I know. It's like, I need to do something. It's one of the funniest things ever. They should pretend AEW, either Road Dogg or Bully Ray, right? Maybe we do need your help after all. And then like just do like the negotiation process, like really, really straight faced. Like it's Tony Khan's money. He's a billionaire. He can like sign them for like 3 years and just pay them happily just for the joke, right? pay them. Like, goes like, all right, I'll listen to the podcast and stuff. Like, I do like reaching out the DMs and go, oh, thanks, I listened to Busted Open, and it was really good. It was really good. Yeah, I think I'm going to take some of that on board and like just gently establish that trust, okay, and then eventually convince them. It's like, do you want like one last run? I know you can't do much, but like you could be like the heel Sting, like come in, be in a trio, and like you can even have a world title shot. But he's like, yeah, and then like instantly it's like, oh, AEW's good again, actually, bro. And then he comes out and like do like a marketing campaign where it's like the glasses get put on people everywhere, and it's like they're basically is Bully Ray coming in? Is Bully Ray coming in? And then like Bully Ray's coming out and he's making his debut on Dynamite. Who's his opponent? And then all the roster and Tony Khan like, oh, you stupid son of a bitch! Why would you want you here? You suck. You haven't done anything since 2001, actually. See you later.
Tony Khan in the roster.
Got everyone out here.
The gang broke the OWG.
Yeah.
So you twisting? You're not going for road.
Yeah, we'll go for the last one. If not that.
Okay.
It's all good stuff.
Picture like Bully Ray in the ring. Like they've sent out like Tommy Dreamer out to collect it.
Yeah.
How you come?
Oh, it's funny. Yeah, you paint a picture, Sidgy. Oh, Christ. Stop.
Oh, hang on, sorry. I was in the same spot. Try again.
Stop.
All right. 1 to 12.
Foul.
Oh, yeah.
It's not a single. It's a tag team.
It's knobs.
It's the Nasty Boys.
There's your little CM Punk reference. It can be Hangman Page versus Sags, and Sags can do his elbow drop, and it's like, is that CM Punk? Is that an effing CM Punk reference? Well, no, but like,
There you have your options, Tony. Meng or Sags.
Meng, Sags, or the public ritualistic humiliation of Bully Ray. You choose. It's your money.
But let's have your thoughts ahead of AEW Dynamite.
Come on, Mark. My name's Bully. I didn't know what your name was.
Let us know your thoughts ahead of AEW Dynamite. Spring
doesn't matter what your name
breakthrough,
is.
dude.
Oh, bro, it's just like, dude, you get the best barrels ever, dude. Just like you pull in and you just get spit right out of them. And you just drop in and just smack the lip. Whoop-ah! Drop down, snap, ah! And then after that, you just drop in, you just ride the barrel and get pitted. So pitted like that.
Let us know your thoughts in the comment section or on X at WhatCulture WWE. Watch, they can follow all three of us. You can follow Michael Hamflett at
Michael Hamflett.
Follow Michael Sidgwick at
M. Sidgwick.
Follow me at Adam Wilbourn. Follow us all at WhatCulture WWE. And make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcast from, for daily wrestling podcasts. But for now, it's been the Dynamite preview. My thanks to Hamflett, Sidgwick. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.